everybody. I'm Ricky Smith. Welcome to Faith on Friday Presents. At Faith on Friday Presents, we're all about highlighting, inspiring people, engaging topics, and small businesses. And while you're here, don't forget to like and subscribe and share our YouTube channel, as well as like our Facebook page and follow us on Instagram. All right, athletes. A couple of weeks ago, we had an American Ninja Warrior on. Today, I got something else more fun, but this is for my lady athletes. For those of you who are runners, bikers, swimmers, or just enjoy being outside and getting truly involved in that whole physical thing, have you ever thought of becoming a triathlete? I know, me neither. But y'all, let me introduce you to somebody who is. Everybody, please say hello to Ciara Stockeland. Hi, Ciara. How are you?
I am so good. Thanks for having me.
No, thank you so much for being here because you, to me, are a unicorn. I have so many questions for why you do what you do. But first of all, Ciara, tell us a little bit about yourself and where you're located.
Yes, well, I am now in Tennessee, born and raised in North Dakota. We finally escaped the winters after multiple decades, and came to the beautiful state of Tennessee where I'm here. Our whole family relocated. I'm a third generation entrepreneur. My grandfather and my dad own their own business, and so that was a natural path for me to take. Live here in Tennessee with my husband Jim and my dog Bentley. Our daughter Isabella still lives at home. She's a triathlete as well. And then our son Harrison and his new wife also live in Tennessee. So I'm a wife, a mom, a girl, an athlete, all the things.
All the things. You are truly every woman. So, full disclosure, some of y'all may or may not have seen it yet, but we had her son on this show, and he is just a delight. And don't worry, we'll put that linked into his show in the description. But Ciara, so girl, it's the whole athlete thing that we're talking about. Now, a lot of us were athletes growing up in school. We ran track or did volleyball, whatever, all the things. But you are doing triathlons
Yes.
now as a grown up.
As a grown up.
Bet or something? Where did you get started doing a triathlon? And tell us a little bit about what a triathlon actually is.
Yes. So actually, I did no sports in high school or college at all. I was in theater, I was in music, as artsy as they came. And I started running for the first time when I was in my 30s. So Harrison and Bella were little tiny babies. And I had a friend that said, Ciara, I started running. You should run with me. In fact, I just told her, Melody, I remember the first time I ran around the block, I couldn't even make it. And I thought, what is going on? But she encouraged me, let's just sign up for a 5K. Let's, just get out and run a little bit together. And so I thought this is really fun because I had never done anything athletic before. And then I signed up for my first sprint triathlon. So a triathlon is always going to be a swim first, and then a bike, and then a run. And there's lots of different distances. So a sprint is going to be really short. You're going to have a 5K, and then for the run, you're going to usually have like a 12 or 13 mile bike, and then your swim is going to be about 500 yards. So that took me back in the day, probably 12 to 15 minutes. So it's short, a great way to get
I'm
into
sorry, wait,
triathlon.
hold on. You
Yes,
ran a 5K, swam 500 meters, and how long of a bike ride?
12 to 13 miles.
And you did that in how long?
So that would probably be a little over an hour when I started to do all of
I'd
that.
still be doing it right now. I'd still be running. Oh my gosh. Okay, continue. Wow.
Continue. Yes. So then there's different distances. So, I never in my wildest dreams thought Ironman, which I'll tell you those distances, and that is the extreme of a triathlon. But we would just do little sprints. I would do 5Ks. I signed up for my first half marathon with a friend. It was horrible. It was awful. I was crying halfway through, looking for my husband. I'm like, where is he? He needs to pick me up in the car. I would walk. I felt awful. And when I finished, I thought, I will never do something that long again.
Mhm.
Ridiculous. And so for the next, let's say almost decade, I would just do sprints and, 5K, 10K here or there. my husband has always wanted to do an Ironman, and I thought, good for you.
Oh,
I will support you in that. An Ironman triathlon is going to be a 2.4-mile swim, a
mhm.
112-mile bike ride, and a full marathon. Okay.
Oh
So I
my
thought,
God.
yeah, I'm like, Jim, you're nuts. I love you. You're crazy. I'll be there at the finish line and that's it.
You can count on me with
Yeah,
water.
yeah, that's right. But then when I saw him finish, I was like, okay, well, he can't be the only Iron Man in the house, number one. And,
Mm,
I thought with my coaching clients, what if I use this? What if I signed up and use this as a training to show them you can literally do anything you set your mind to if you go about it the right way? And so I signed up for my first Ironman. In 16 weeks later, I completed it at the age of 43.
what?
Yep.
You are my hero. First of
Aw.
all, when your friend said, "Hey, I'm running, you should come with me," my first question would be, "Who's chasing us?
Right. Why are we running?
Why
And
are we
yeah,
running?" I don't understand. But then
yeah.
to do all those things after, what kind of training does it take? Because like I said, I was in the military. I did all my things that I was supposed to do there. When I got out of the military, I tell people sort of jokingly, I don't run up my stairs. I
Right.
do, but I don't. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
why, girl? Why?
Why? I know. People have asked me that. Just why, Sierra? Just why? In fact, my
Yeah.
mom is like, "Why? Why would you do that?" Because it's a long day. I mean, so an Ironman, you have to complete it in 17 hours or you're disqualified. My Ironman times are usually around 12 hours. So for 12 hours, you're out on the course suffering, essentially. But
Yeah.
I think for me, it's about pushing myself to do something that's
Mm,
so out of my comfort zone, wanting to be the best steward of my time and my talents. I just want to live big. And to me,
wow.
that means living bold and intentional and grateful. And I think to live big lives, we can't stay comfortable on the couch. And an
Mm,
Ironman might not be for everyone. It's not for everyone, but there's other ways for us to live big, right? And so for me, it was
right.
like, how can I do something so different that makes me feel proud about learning and growing and pushing?
Yeah.
So,
Wow. So now, how often do you do these marathons? Because now you're only doing Ironmans now, is that right?
yes. So I've done a total of 4 full distance Ironman events. One of those was World Championships in Kona. So Isabella's 18, soon to be 19. She qualified for World Championships, and so did I in the same
Wow.
year. So last year we both got to go to Kona, which is it's like the Olympics of Ironman. Everyone wants
Oh
to
my
get to
goodness.
Kona. And it was the
Mm,
first all-female event they'd ever done. So that was pretty
that's
amazing.
awesome.
2,500 women from around the world competing together.
My
Um,
God.
yeah, just mind blowing. This year, our goal, we've set our sights on half iron distance. So a half iron is just going to be half the distance. So we're going to do 1.2-mile swim, 56-mile bike ride, and then a half marathon. And this year, we're really trying to push ourselves to get faster. So there's, when you extend the distance, you're really building endurance versus like
Sure.
5K or sprint your speed, right? And I
Hmm.
said, okay, I know I can go the distance. Now I want to get faster. So we're doing half Ironman
Wow.
distance this year.
Oh my God. But how neat. I guess the family that tortures themselves together stays together. Yay.
Absolutely, right?
I mean, but why did your daughter decide, Mommy, I
Yeah.
want to do it with you? What was that all about?
Well, that's a really good question because we have a really awesome Instagram page for our triathlon. And what I love so much about that page is hearing everybody's why. The triathlon community is a very tight community because we all know how hard it is, right? So whether you're doing a
Yeah.
sprint or an Olympic or an Ironman distance, we all know the time and dedication. So Bella's why, she was a swimmer in high school and she
Mhm.
hurt her shoulder, so high school or college swimming wasn't an option. And she thought, I miss the team component. What could I do with the swimming? And honestly, like in triathlon, the swimming is usually everyone's nemesis. Like people hate the swim. And
Right.
Bella's like, I have a leg up on that. So let's go for it. So for her, it was about finding the next sport that she could do past high school.
Mhm.
What I'm finding as we're hearing from all these triathletes on our page, people that are recovering addicts, like they're
Oh,
getting
wow.
into this community and they're finding purpose again. I'm hearing from 56-year-old ladies who are saying, my kids are done with school, they've moved
Wow.
away, I want something for me. It's just so cool because everybody does really have a
Yeah.
different why. And then we all, like you said, torture ourselves together to get
Yes,
this done.
exactly.
Yeah.
Yay. So I asked you earlier about the training. So you've been doing this for a few years now. But
Yeah.
say somebody's watching this and thinking, "Yeah, I want to do that too." I'm sure you don't suggest just get on out there, girls, sign up and
No.
just grow. What does the training look like for something like
Yeah.
this?
So I always say there's 3 things I did when I signed up for my first Ironman, and I did them immediately. I fired my coach, so I had a running coach. I was working on a quick
Wow.
5K, and I
Mhm.
messaged him when I signed up and I said, "Hey, I just signed up for an Ironman." And he texted me back and said, "What distance?" Which was
Mhm.
a very snarky remark because I was like, "You know the
Mhm.
distance." So he was
Yeah.
basically saying like, "You can't do this." And I thought, you know
Mhm.
what? I need a coach that believes in me. I need someone
Mhm.
that says, "You're crazy, Ciara, but we've got this. We can do the work."
Yeah.
And so I fired him and went to work looking for a female coach that had ran and raced Ironman before because I wanted someone on my
Okay.
team that had been there, done that. So if
Mhm.
someone's interested in doing anything, pushing themselves, you have to find the right people. Surround yourself with the right people. Put them on your
So good.
team. The next thing I
Mhm.
did was I bought the right equipment. Because I'm like, if I'm gonna sit on a bike for hours and hours, if I'm gonna run miles and miles, I need good shoes, I need good
Yeah.
nutrition, I need a good bike. And I think so often in life we try things, but we don't go all the way. We don't set
Mhm.
ourselves up for success with it. Um, and the third and most important thing for everyone, if they're thinking of trying something new, is to commit. There's a big
Mhm.
difference between being interested and being committed. We're all
Yeah.
interested from the couch. I heard this once, like, we all think we can do everything when we're sitting on the couch,
Sure.
But it's in like, I just did a 10-mile run on Sunday in Florida. It was so hot and spicy.
Oh
So
my
it was
gosh.
miserable, and I was alone, right?
Mhm. Mhm.
That's the time that you decide, am I truly committed to the outcome or am I just interested in doing something? And so
Oh my
I chose
goodness.
to be committed and I thought I'm going to follow my coach's plan. I'm going to show up for every workout. There's no excuses. I'm not going in with a parachute. Like
Yeah.
I'm all
Woo,
in. And
I'm
so
all
I would
in.
say those are the things.
Those are huge things. Now you brought up something which bears this question. How much does this stuff cost? Because my husband rides bikes and he
Yeah.
has a street bike. And eh, yeah, when I was a kid, bikes didn't cost that much. And his bike doesn't even have pedals. What kind of crap is that? So how much money are you investing in something
Yeah.
so huge?
It's a lot. I mean, triathlon is an expensive sport. It really is because it's 3 sports, right? And
Hmm.
so when we go somewhere, we're flying our bike there, you have to have all this equipment. There's a lot of funny, reels or memes on Instagram where it'll say, "Okay, if you're a runner, here's how you pack your car," and it's like literally drop a pair of shoes. If you're a triathlete, and it's like all the nutrition and the helmets and all the things. So it's a
Right.
lot. I mean, it's a big investment.
Hmm.
But I think we all have hobbies, right? We all spend money on
Yep.
what's important to us. And for
Mhm.
us, like my husband does them, my daughter, and actually Harrison, who you met,
Yes.
he's going to be in a relay. So he is going to do the swim. He was a high school swimmer too. So he's
Okay.
going to swim. Jim, my husband, is going to do the bike, and his 74-year-old mom is going to walk the half marathon
I
for a half
love
iron
it.
relay. I know. So to us, it's
Oh
like it's a family adventure too.
And that is so great.
Yeah.
And you just said something I didn't know that you can do them as a relay.
You can do a half iron distance as a relay. So full
Okay.
Ironman, unsupported,
Mhm.
it's all you. But the half distance, you can do a relay.
Wow. Okay, folks that are watching, hey, let's get together and swim
Right?
and run as a group. I'm going to be the cheerleader. Just know
And we
that.
need those too. And let's talk about that for a minute because
Okay.
I think in everything in life, there's senders and there's doers, right? There's senders and there's goers.
Hmm.
There's nothing more special than being on the race course, feeling miserable, knowing you have to
Hmm.
finish, and coming around the corner and seeing your people. Like, there's
Yeah.
nothing like that. And so,
Hmm.
for some of you out there, you might say, I'm never going to do that. Could you support someone? Right. And like
Hmm.
that goes with everything in life. Like, you might know a business owner. I don't want to own a business, you say, but I can support. I can shop in their store. I can help them market or advertise or share. Like, we can always be support, even if we don't necessarily do the crazy thing.
Yeah. That
So,
is such a great point because I have lots of friends who are the cheerleading type people, or they are just truly support staff. I will
Yeah.
wash your gear. I will transport your gear.
Yes.
I will get you there on time. I will hold the stopwatch. And like you said, it is so nice having that group of people who are not doing it with you, but are
Yeah.
definitely there for you.
Yeah.
I really like that idea. So yeah, whew. Okay, I'm saved again. So I'm there on the sidelines.
We have a
Now,
place for you. Yes.
there you go. I like that. There's a place for even me. Ciara, you mentioned earlier that about your clients. Tell us a little bit about your business.
Yes. So I am an inventory and financial coach, fractional CFO. So I work with inventory-based businesses to create more profit and keep more cash, meaning I help them take a paycheck. I help them make money. So there's hundreds and thousands of small business owners. I was one, I have been one for many years. And a
Mhm.
lot of small business owners have this dirty little secret. They are overwhelmed, they are stressed out, they don't have money, they have so much debt.
Yeah.
They look amazing from the outside looking in, and they feel like a fraud behind the scenes. And so
Woo!
I step in and say, "Hey, let's untangle the mess of your business. Let me help you understand the numbers, and let's create profit and keep cash because you work so hard. I want you to keep some of it." So that's what I get to
That is
do.
so good. Now, you said earlier that you use your Ironman as an example, if you will, in your business. How did those two things go together?
Yeah. So that illustration I gave earlier of like, what did I do when I signed up? Hired the right coach, I got the right equipment, and I committed. And I use that analogy a lot. So as I was moving through this journey, that first Ironman, I documented, and then I would
Right.
share with my group of clients. Okay, so here's the 3 things I just did. I signed up. How can you apply that to business?
Hmm.
I'm going through a tough week. I want to quit. How can we apply that to business? Like all of these things in life really do carry through. And
Yeah.
so just the mindset work that I did, the mental muscles I was building, learning to time manage. So,
Hmm.
especially with something like Ironman, in the height of Ironman training, I'm
Wow.
training 20 hours a week and running a
Whew.
business and making dinner and spending time with my family. You better be
Yeah.
good at time management to get that
That's
done, you
Oh
know?
my gosh, so
Yeah.
true.
And so how
Wow.
can I use those principles and bring them through to my clients? So that's what I did, just
Hmm.
started to document and chronicle and share with them things that would make sense for business as well.
Oh my gosh. You mentioned earlier also that there is no age limit because your daughter's doing it and grandma is going to
Yeah.
be doing the thing. Is it ever too late to get started?
I don't think so. I don't think in life, the coolest women I meet are the ones that are like, okay, let me tell you an actual story. So we're visiting, our friends are doing an Ironman in Madison. I was a
Mhm.
participant or in the crowd there. So I was just cheering people on. I wasn't racing.
Right.
And we're in the elevator at the end of the race. We're going up to our hotel room, and there's this cute little old lady with like a little crown on her head. And it was said happy birthday. And so I was like, "Oh, happy birthday." And she's like, "It's my birthday today." And she said, "I won my age group. I was in the Ironman. I won my age group." And I was like, "That's amazing." And she goes, "The key to it is outliving the competition." And I was like, "I love it." That's the
That's
person I
so
want to be,
good.
right?
Yeah, me
Like,
too.
we just put
Wow.
ages on things, and we say, "Well,
Yeah.
I'm too old to dress like that now," or "I'm
Mhm.
too old to try something new." And I like to say, like, "Why? Let's
Who
keep
said?
living big, let's try
Yeah.
things." So,
I like that. Live big. My
yeah,
gosh, Ciara, there's so much here and so much I want to ask you, but then this would go on for, I don't know, a
ever.
marathon. See what I did
Yeah.
right there? So, Ciara, if somebody wanted to reach out to you, chat with you, find out any of the fun stuff about you, where's the best place for them to reach you?
Really my website. So ciarastockeland.com. That's where you can find it all. I have amazing resources for small business owners. You can link to my Instagram and my LinkedIn and all of the fun places. So if you head over to the website, that's going to be the best place.
Man, y'all, there's so much here, but don't worry. All of her contact information will be in the description below, to include links to her Instagram page and her son's interview as well. So don't worry, we're going to get it all there. And don't forget, while you're here, subscribe to our YouTube channel, like our Facebook page, and follow us on Instagram too. Ciara, my friend, before I let you go,
Yes.
we have to play a game.
Okay.
All right, so this game is called This or That. It's really simple. I'm going to give you the choice of a couple of things, and you just tell me which one you like the best. Are you ready
Okay,
to play, my friend?
I'm ready. Let's go.
Let's do this. All right, cats or dogs?
Dogs.
Watch the movie or read the book?
Watch a movie.
Oh, yeah. You don't have time to read. When,
Right? And I can watch a movie while I'm on the bike trainer. So, there's that.
oh, there you go. That's true. But why
Yeah.
bother? Okay. Prince or Michael Jackson?
Oh, Michael Jackson.
Okay. Do you have a favorite song?
I don't actually like either of them, but if I had to pick, I'd pick Michael Jackson.
You don't have to pick. It's your game. So tell me, who's your favorite artist?
Oh, let's see. Michael Bublé. He is in my
Okay.
bucket list. Yep, I want to go see him. I love
Yeah, I
the
don't
old
know
stuff.
her.
Like I love Frank Sinatra, all of that kind of music.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Then Michael Bublé is definitely your guy. That
Yeah.
is so cool. Okay. Reality TV. Yes, please. Or I'd rather not.
I'd rather not.
Me neither. Ugh, I can't. It's too embarrassing for me.
It
I don't
is.
know.
It's
It's
just
like
like,
I'm
oh,
there.
please.
Like, exactly. Don't do that. Don't do that. Okay. Oh my gosh. Slow dance or shake that thing.
Slow dance.
Ah, you like a good belly rub, huh?
Yep.
What's your favorite time of the year? Wintertime or summertime?
Summer, 1000% summer.
Yeah, it's because you run outside and swim and stuff.
Yes. I want the
That's hilarious.
sunshine. Yeah.
I don't blame you. And finally, Ciara, what's your favorite Olympic sport?
Oh, I would say gymnastics.
Yeah.
I'm 5'10", so there was no hope for me to be a gymnast, and that's probably why I love gymnastics.
Oh my gosh,
Yeah.
my favorite one is curling. I love curling.